right. So make sure you comment and put your UID for AlphaX in the comments. Folks are getting those $20 airdrops, so make sure you do that. It's free money. Apologize for my voice. I am losing it and getting over a cold. Index hasn't come on yet. Maybe he'll come on, hopefully during the stream, and chime in, but I figure we should go ahead and get started. So I thought we would do something a little bit different today. What I have here is a plain blank chart of Bitcoin. It's just a new chart. It doesn't have any of my lines on it. I did go ahead and add two indicators, volume and the visible range profile. And what I want to do here is just kind of go over how I chart. Very basic. To me, if you try to complicate things, it just doesn't generally work out. As you can see, there's a lot of volume traded on Binance down here. And there's some weird stuff that happened with the Binance chart. They did some promotions at one point where they basically weren't charging fees and volume went up. So you have to be a little bit cautious. But at the end of the day, we can see that this 20K area is massively important. And this 25K area is massively important. So what I would do just right off the bat is say, okay, I've got my magnet turned on and I'm going to mark these levels down here because they're big. On the weekly, on this monthly chart, I can immediately see this kind of trend right here. Oh, look at that. Very, very clean. Trend line that I want to make sure that I follow. And then there's a level here. I'm sure of it. Somewhere in this range. So from here to here, I expect that to be an issue. This level right here from the previous run up. I'm going to zoom in a bit. To the weekly. And I apologize if it doesn't flow as smooth. I really am trying to show you guys how I do this in real time. This kind of higher low situation going on here is kind of important. Okay, so what we have here is a very, very important level around 57K. We've got a low, which I like to use horizontal rays for these, right there. And if we come over here and do the fixed range profile from here to here, right? Now we've got a pretty good indication of what we're looking at here. This is a little funky. Seems like the numbers are really big. Okay, so this is a range, and immediately I can see we're still technically making higher lows. We're making lower highs, and you can certainly add that to the chart. And essentially what I'm looking for is one move down to here. I think that in an ideal world, we come down, and just based on this, we come down and tag this area down here. For now, this 64 level is big. The 67 level is big. I've been talking a lot about the 66K level, and I think when you look at it short, like low time frame, you can kind of see why. Like we're just failing to hold. There's a significant amount low time frame, a significant amount of volume at 66K. And so what I'm looking at is we need to start trading and accepting above that for me to feel confident and take a long up towards 70K. Going up above it and not accepting, to me, just means that we're still at risk of making that move lower. You can see on the low time frame, there's a kind of channel building, right? So low time frame, high time frame. And that's basically it. I I can see that until we go below this 64.8 and accept below it, I can see that there's a significant likelihood that we go up before we go down. But when I go into the low time frame, I just don't trust it. Now, if you were to get in at this, 64.5, then it's just an easy invalidation. If it keeps going down, you flip short. But from here, from 65.8, there's just not a whole lot of reason for me to jump in. Now, I do want to go back and look at the chart. Now, this chart has a lot more thought put into it. Some of these levels are years old, and so you can see that it really kind of comes back to the same thing. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking to take out the liquidity under this wick before making a bigger move up. But I I think we're in a strong enough trend to where if we just sweep 60K and get a decent bounce. Notice I'm not longing this 60K without the reclaim. I'm letting it come down, waiting for the retest, and then going up, and really watching this level. So that 57, it's the same level, 56,950. Very, to me, very big level. And just waiting for now, this is a consolidation phase. And so all you have to do is long when it drops and then hold for a break up. That's my plan. If you're bearish, you wait for a move up and you short that. And if you want to just scalp, I think you can scalp this this little move for now. I'm not doing that. Maybe on some alts, but for me, I'm just going to wait. And that's basically it. You want to wait to see how it reacts at this trend line, see how it reacts at this trend line, and look for confluence. At the end of the day, I'm expecting a bit more chop before this is decided. And that is how I chart Bitcoin or pretty much anything else. All right, hold on. Let me get caught up because I was focused on charting. Let me get caught up on some of the chat. Just anybody have any chart requests, any alts that they want me to look at while we're here and waiting? Market open is in 9 minutes, so we've got a little bit of time. ENA. All right, let's take a look. ENA. I don't think I have ENA on my chart. Let's see. So I like to use the Binance charts, especially when you throw in, oh geez. All right. So ENA, when you have something that's new like this that doesn't have a lot of history, then you have to just kind of be more careful. There's really nothing to chart. This is in price discovery, as far as I'm concerned. You've got a huge amount of volume relative, obviously, at the top of this wick. And that's from when it was listed on Binance. At this point, things that I would look at are this trend right here. I don't see any reason to short this uh, unless it breaks this trend. And I'd be more likely to say look for a dip down to this trend to get long. There's not really a whole lot you can do here. You can certainly go and do more low time frame, but you still are going to run into kind of the same issue when you see stuff like it's selling and it's moving up. One thing that I would add onto this type of chart is the OBV. And you sort of chart it the same way, right? Oh, sorry about that. You sort of chart this the same way. It's here, here, there. So yeah, that would be what I would be looking at. And then from here to there, and just kind of wait and see what it does. I mean, I'd be inclined to say that you can long this, but it's pretty risky. So for me, I'd wait for a pullback. You may not get it. It may just launch, but it's basically in price discovery and it's moving up. I I don't see any reason to think that it wouldn't keep going. Any other chart requests? Obviously, not a whole lot of sense in looking at the monthly on something that was listed on Binance 2 minutes ago. Now you could do, let's see if it was listed somewhere else. Nope. Well, that's interesting. I don't even know what that is. No, it's just going to be in price discovery, and you gotta wait. You gotta wait for that pullback. And if it does lose this trend and it goes below this 0.837 level, then you can probably take a quick short down to 0.72. All right, so let's see, big time. You'll notice that when I get on these charts, I'm immediately going to high time frame. Never want to look at low time frame, and I would go as far as just taking some of these indicators off when you first look at it. So there's a lot more here. Basically, make sure your magnet is on. Take the fib left to right. And it didn't really work out. So then you go left to right. You can see this already played out. This is a key level on this move up. So I would go ahead and mark that. There. But I'm going to delete that because it just doesn't make a ton of sense. And you work your way up. So this area right here to me makes a lot of sense. I mentioned yesterday, trend lines are not something that I necessarily trade in terms of entries. I use them more as a guide. But what you can see here is that big time lost this market structure. It had this big move up. It came down. It was still making higher lows, and now it's not. And so you have to wait. You have to wait for it to find its footing. Now, to me, this is your level right here. So the volume starts a little bit higher. So I would look on big time on the high time frame for a move like that. That's what I would kind of look for. Uh, if it doesn't bounce here, I would look for a consolidation in this area down here. And then obviously I could be wrong. This, when you look at it on low time frame, this wick tells me that there's buying and I may not get it, but I would want to see a reclaim at least of these wicks down here before I kind of jumped in. Uh, I do think that stuff like this will ideally find its footing, and it's when you have a coin that moved as much as big time, in such a short period of time, then you're going to have a little bit more volatility. Ideally, a little bit of consolidation, a move slightly lower, and then a move up to this secondary purple level. Does that make sense? You just notice, like, you start with higher time frames and then you zoom in. You could certainly find scalps on this or lower time frame trades. You could just scalp these channels or look for a change in the channel. So you get stuff like this, right? And it breaks down, and you get one kind of here, right? And then now you have one here, and you just wait for it to leave that channel, and you just jump in whichever direction it gives you. Uh, there's any number of strategies. Certainly would want to add. Let's see, VWAP daily anchor to this, and then what I do here is take some of these out, change the color. Okay, and so I would be looking for a move down to one of the deviations. So here, so close to VWAP, I either would take a long if it broke out and it was like a long on the low of this channel, if it was at VWAP with a pretty simple invalidation of it left the channel and it went below VWAP, or I would look for a move down to one of these deviations and see. But at this point, I'm expecting this. I would think that this would sell off more, and you would want to wait for it to break above this channel to get in. All right. Market did open and I missed it. Killing it today. I sent my kid to school in pants that were on backwards because he's trying to dress himself and I wasn't paying enough attention. So right now I'm taking a look at the flows on SPY. I do not love it. It looks better than yesterday. NQ doesn't have that initial weakness. If we hold 518 and really start trading above 519.5 on SPY, I could see equities really move up. I'm not seeing the kind of numbers that we were seeing on the run up, so I would certainly be a bit more cautious. But to me, these numbers look better than what we've seen Monday and Tuesday. There's a significant there's not that initial sell pressure that we've had, and so that would only help SPY and really Bitcoin. I suspect Bitcoin's moved up. Let's see. Hasn't moved up much, but it is showing a little bit of strength. I I really think that the market's gonna has a chance to creep up here. You don't want to bet on that. You want to wait for it to reclaim, and ideally, I'm looking at 519.5 on SPY as a key area for bullishness. And if the market starts trading below 517, I think everything's probably going to take a step down along with it, including Bitcoin. Now, Sol's just doing really, really well. It's bouncing compared to something like Sui, which was really strong, you can see the difference in these two charts. You really want to look for relative strength in these situations. You want to have Bitcoin pulling back, and you want to see what's holding up well. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to long Sui if it comes to a clean level, but my go-to is going to be Sol because it's showing relative strength. It's still going to wick way down if Bitcoin drops, but identifying relative strength and then longing those coins when you're in a bull market is one of the key strategies that I use. All right, so let's see. All right, so I believe Andax probably slept in, or maybe he had something come up. I don't know, but uh, certainly a much less entertaining stream without him. But hopefully, y'all got some benefit from it. I think that there's a lot to learn and there's a lot of opportunities in this type of market, and some folks may have been really disappointed that they didn't jump in the long last night. And the thing is that there's going to be more opportunities. To me, if you look at the low time frame Bitcoin chart and you went to bed and it was at 64.4 and you woke up and it was at 66.6 and you aped in because you were feeling FOMO, and now you're getting really close to your validation, and you're wondering if you're going to be able to hold on, and it's not a good feeling if you felt like you wanted to get long and you think I'm wrong, and you don't think that we're going to at least take out the 64K level, then uh, then certainly you can long here with a really tight invalidation. I'm just going to wait. I don't think there's any need to rush into it, and I'm okay with buying higher if I need to. Um, so for now, patience. You see the plan. If you have any questions about how I charted Bitcoin or what other things that I look at, just put it in the comments, and I'll circle back and try to answer it. Or better yet, if you want a more in-depth answer, just come onto the Discord and ask. We're always there. And if you want your name on the banner as a prior winner, make sure that you list your UID, and we will be sending those out. Well, not us, AlphaX will be sending those out shortly. Uh, have a good day. Be patient. Wait for your entries, and let us know how it goes. Have a good one.